Hi everyone, school is back in session, and if it's not back in session for you yet, I guarantee you it is coming. And with that means homework, projects, and for many of us, projects can be a bit of a stressful situation. So in today's video, I'm sharing with you my 7-year-old's first mini project for school, for his first week of school, and I'm also sharing with you some tips that I have picked up along the way to help make projects large and small as stress-free as possible. Okay, so what you want to do to save time on those school projects is to sit down and go through the information ahead of time before you start the project. So this particular project here, my son's teacher has sent home all the information for the project. So before we start the project, I'm going to go through it and make sure that I understand what is required and give myself time to email the teacher. If it's a project that you receive the day before, then you will have less time to communicate with the teacher. However, I would still recommend sitting down and going through the instructions and directions before you actually have your child sit down with you, so that you have a good understanding of what is needed. After going over the information, I go ahead and pull everything that I think we will need. For this particular project, my son will need a picture of himself. So I went ahead and pulled a picture of himself here, and typically, yeah, that's him, little picture. And typically what I would do is probably pull maybe 4 photos and allow him to choose one. But for this project, I just pull the one. But typically I would get a handful of pictures, 4 or 5 pictures, and then he could select, just, so that he has more creative input. I've also pulled magazines. After going through the packet, I know that he will need some pictures that represent stores and places that are in our neighborhood. So I went ahead and pulled magazines that I know will have stores in them that will reflect the stores that we have in our neighborhood. Some of these are local magazines. They all may be local magazines. So instead of sitting down, reading the instructions, and then going through tons of magazines, I've already saved us time by pulling out magazines that I know will have appropriate information. I've also pulled out the crayons that he will need. This is an example of something that he has liked to make. He's been into making paper airplanes and things like that, so I'm going to set aside some of his airplanes and things that he's been making, because he may be able to incorporate that with his project. I've also pulled art supplies. I pulled out some art supplies. Here I have construction papers, stickers, some little, what is that down there? Some little decorations that he may be able to use to decorate his project. There's some glue and scissors, and I may add a few more items to that, but I think that'll be sufficient for getting him started. And I have some, and construction paper. And then I have just some regular paper right here that he may use. And this is really simple. However, I have learned with being a mother of 3 that it is so much easier for small projects and large projects to go ahead and prep as much as you can before you bring the child in to start the project. That way, once you bring the child in, you have a better idea of what's going on, and you have all that you need right there, and you can get through it a whole lot faster by just doing these simple, just making these simple preparations before you start your project. As we do other projects, larger projects, I will create some videos to share with you how we save time on larger projects. My children do a lot of projects in the school that they go to, and that's just something that I just am. I don't like to make projects stressful because they really can be stressful. So I try to make them as stress-free as possible for me and as enjoyable as possible for them, because I do think that these types of projects should be enjoyable. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Have a happy, blessed day. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.